Welcome to Vault Hunters. This is a mod pack made by Iscal85 from the Hermitcraft server. He and his development team have put together an RPG dungeon crawler where you will explore vaults, fighting mobs, and looting treasures. Unlock mods for automation, creativity, and quality of life. Build your biggest base ideas and find all 25 artifacts to unlock the final boss and become the ultimate treasure hunter. I have now been playing this mod pack for just over 1,000 in-game days. Here's what I've done so far. In the first episode, I got myself set up with some chromatic iron and some chipped vault rocks. I used those to make some vault stone, and then I made myself a vault altar. Then I sacrificed some items to the altar so I could get myself a crystal. I built myself a portal, and I opened up my first vault. In the second episode, I got myself basically unlimited food. I started by crafting a couple of jars and some animal pens, and these are a one-block solution that lets you breed and harvest animals. I started with cows because beef is best, and then I got myself set up with a couple of other animals. I set up a little spot for them, put them all in their place, and they're ready to harvest. Now I don't have to worry about food at all. In episode number 3, I got my first set of vault gear. I rolled off all of the pieces I had collected, and I got a helmet, a chest plate, some leggings, some boots, a shield, and a magnet. And this gear is going to be better than netherite. After that, I made myself a tool station and crafted myself a chromatic iron pick. Next, I completed a vault, which took me up to level 5, which gave me an expertise point, which unlocks passive buffs. I used that to unlock Fortunate, giving me a permanent level of fortune. And now I'm all geared up and ready to take on the vaults. In episode number 4, I got myself from level 6 to level 20. I started gaining levels by running a couple of vaults. I was also gathering materials so that I could upgrade my tools and my workstations. Next, I made some upgrades. I put wooden affinity onto my pickaxe, then I made myself a vault forge. I also made a recycler, an alchemy table, a jewel cutting station, a black market, a diffuser, and an identifier. And then I ran some more vaults until I made it to level 20. In episode 5, I made my first PAXEL. To make a PAXEL, you need to start with a vault tool, either a pickaxe, an axe, or a shovel. Then you apply jewels to it on the application table using either picking, axing, or shoveling, depending on which tool you started with. Then take it to the enchanter and put on your favorite enchantments. I prefer to go with Fortune. Now this tool will act as a pickaxe, an axe, and a shovel, all in one inventory slot. In episode 6, I upgraded my storage system with colossal chests, each of which can hold over 200,000 items, and simple storage network, which gives me an interface to manage all of my materials. You will need a network route and a storage inventory from Simple Storage, then use link cables to connect the network route to a colossal chest interface. Next, you can build your chest around that block. I made a 5x5 chest for 216,000 items in storage, all of which can be accessed right from the storage inventory. In episode 7, I started things off inside the vault looking for dungeons. Each dungeon is full of a certain type of mob, each of them souped up in their own way. There are zombies, spiders, piglins, and skeletons. Each vault has a champion you'll need to defeat, and if you're lucky, there will be an archive where you can learn new gear enhancements. In episode 8, I unlocked the crate mod and started building some basic farms. I started with a crop tower. This just takes a water wheel, a bearing, and some harvesters to work. Next up, I made an automatic cocoa bean farm, also made with just a water wheel, a bearing, and a couple of harvesters. After that was a pretty simple glowberry farm, which works by picking the berries with a deployer. And lastly, I built this big, complex tree and fungus farm, which you'll have to watch the full video to see how that works. In episode 9, I made my first architect vault. These are custom vaults where you can choose a certain room to run. To get started, you'll need a seal of the architect. Then combine the seal and a crystal on an anvil. Next, you'll combine that crystal with inscriptions from the inscription table. There are blank inscriptions, which add time, completion, and instability, and room inscriptions, which choose which room will be in the vault. I chose the X mark room. The more instability, the higher the chance of a curse, but you will need at least a few blank inscriptions to get enough time, and you'll also need a high amount of completion. Otherwise, the vault will be mostly made of bedrock. In episode 10, I took on a few God Altar challenges. Whenever you find a God Altar in the vault, it will give you a challenge. It can be looting chests, killing mobs, or mining ores. If you complete the challenge, you will be granted a favor, which is a passive buff lasting for the rest of that vault. If you have a charm with you, there is a % chance that you will also gain a reputation point. These will be used in the Divine Paradox. In episode 11, I unlocked the Divine Paradox. This is a custom vault that you can build over time using reputation points from God Altar challenges and vault gold. Regular rooms are cheaper and special rooms will cost higher amounts. After you have built the vault using the seal of the creator, you can then run the custom vault using the seal of the ordinator. This is a later game feature, starting to be useful around level 75, but it's a good idea to start earning reputation points early. By episode 12, I made it to level 50. Now that I'm at level 50, I can take on treasure rooms. To open a treasure room, I'll need a treasure key. Then I'll need to combine that with a gem cluster. Next, I'll need to find a matching treasure door inside the vault, and that will lead me to the best chest you can find, and treasure sand with some of the best loot available. This is my starter base. Kind of. It's the first real build in this world, and how I spent episode 13. I used the chip mod and create for the block palette on this build. Each workstation in the chip mod gives you variations on different vanilla blocks. I usually start a build with a foundation, then I'll build the facade and start on the roof. Then I can add some details to see how things come together. Once I had the first floor done, I added a second and third floor, stepping out an extra block to make the top of the build a little bit bigger. Then I added the main roof, tall and pointy. I added another small extension off the side and a little dock on the back of the house. I put in some windows, breaking up the flat roof, and a chimney on the side. Once I finished the exterior, I moved on to decorating the inside. In episode 14, I unlocked refined storage, and I am going to use it to move 200,000 items. I need 4 64K storage disks to move all of my items out of the colossal chests and into my refined storage system. This cost almost all of my resources, but now I have over 250,000 items of storage space. After moving everything into the new system, I ended up with just over 200,000 items. In episode 15, I unlocked CAGERIUM. CAGERIUM is a one-block mob farm. There are terrariums for passive mobs, mob cages for hostile mobs, and binding plates for boss mobs. Each farm will need mob eggs to work, which you can find inside the vault. Next, put up the 4 eggs into each farm, over a chest. I started with zombies, spiders, and skeletons. Then I made a big barn with a spooky attic where I could put all the farms and automatically import the items into my storage system. In episode 16, I unlocked elevators, torchmaster, and iron furnaces. Elevators adds a 1-block solution to teleport between floors, and you can disguise them as any block. Just jump or shift to travel up and down. Torchmaster introduces a mega torch which stops hostile mob spawns within 64 blocks. I buried mine in the middle of my base. And iron furnaces add super fast furnaces with a bunch of different tiers based on the materials you use, whether it be iron, gold, diamonds, or netherite. And in episode 17, the last episode before I made this video, I made a workshop in the Create mod. I started off by terraforming an area to work on, then I built a small blacksmith building to house some basic Create components. I'm powering the workshop with a water wheel, and on the inside I have a set of crushing wheels, automated deployers including a precision mechanism machine, a few automated presses, some blaze burners, and a washing and haunting station. On the second floor, I also added a drawer system to hold all of my Create items, and this system is connected to the full network inside my other builds. And that is how I spent my first 1,000 days in my Vault Hunters playthrough. I took a little bit of a different approach to the whole 1,000 days thing. Instead of tracking day by day, I just took a look back at all of the episodes I've made along the way. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. I know I had a lot of fun putting it together. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.